Hello and welcome to another episode of the UCLA Bruins Insider Podcast. As always, I'm your host, Connor Moreno, lead writer for UCLA Bruins on SI. Today we're going to talk about a little bit of the start of July recruiting for UCLA. Last time we talked, mentioned that there were a few recruits that UCLA was still in the play for. Two of them committed not to UCLA today, so we'll talk a little bit about that. And then we're going to talk about baseball because the baseball team got some pretty big news, especially for their very near future. So without further ado, let's get into it. The first commit that was kind of a big loss. I mean, you could say just because of the name, but he is a 3-star wide receiver. It is Devin Fitzgerald. He is the son of legendary Cardinals wide receiver Larry Fitzgerald. He went ahead and committed to Notre Dame today. UCLA was in his top 4, which he announced earlier in the week. Towards the beginning of July, he went ahead and committed to Notre Dame. We weren't expecting him to obviously commit to UCLA, but I feel like the Bruins were kind of considered, in my estimated guess, just from reading all the reports and writing about it. I would like to assume that the Bruins were his second choice, just because of how he would talk about them, how he would talk about Coach Malloy, how he would talk about, how he would talk about Coach Deshaun Foster, Burrow Tolaire, and just how he would talk about the campus and the location. I really feel like, if the Fighting Irish hadn't put together a really good recruiting package, then he would be in Westwood right now. But, I mean, his top 4 were Notre Dame, UCLA, Stanford, Clemson. Like I said, I do think the Bruins were second, but Notre Dame ended up getting him. A new evaluation of the prospect came in from Greg Biggins of 247 Sports. I'm going to go ahead and read it. It said Fitzgerald has made a big jump in his development over the last year, especially this offseason. He has clearly established himself as one of the top players in the region and one of the better receivers nationally as well. He has a strong athletic frame with big hands and has improved his twitch and athleticism. He's moving more fluidly, looks more explosive, getting down the field, and has more juice in his game from an athletic standpoint. He was always polished in terms of his route running and ball skills, which isn't surprising when you consider his father, Larry Fitzgerald, was one of the most technically sound receivers to ever play the game. To see the jump in athleticism has been encouraging, and he's also filling out his frame, pushing 200 pounds, and now looks stronger and is playing with a ton of confidence. He's winning jump ball battles, catching the ball through contact, and his game is definitely trending in the right direction right now. A legitimate high major NFL prospect in his own right, and has the tools to be an immediate impact player at the next level as well. All things considered, especially given that super high praise evaluation, I mean, you can imagine why his father is Larry Fitzgerald. Not to say that he's only doing it to kiss up to him, but based on that evaluation, you really think he was a fringe 4-star at Brophy here in Phoenix. I'm local to Phoenix. He is talked about a lot in the area, and it's just nice to see local kid going out and doing something. The next recruit that committed today that UCLA was in play for is Keatron Harris. He is a 3-star defensive lineman, also from Arizona, Phoenix area, in Chandler. He went to Compass Prep. Today he committed to Arizona in Tucson. UCLA was also in his top, I think, 3. I can't remember if he announced top 3 or top 4. Let's see. I think it was top 3. Let me find it real quick. Apologies to keep you waiting. Yeah, so it was top 3. It was top 3, and it was Arizona, it was UCLA, and it was Missouri. So UCLA, again, in another pretty close battle for a pretty good commit. He's 88 rated, so I wouldn't say fringe 4-star, but he's pretty darn close. He's a pretty good 3-star. Keatron Harris, defensive lineman. Went with the Wildcats. He visited them May 30th, who was actually his earliest visit, May 30th. He went to Missouri June 20th, and he went to Westwood June 13th. So, I mean, I wouldn't say it's rare, but you typically see those recruits who take a visit, the latest, commit to the latest visit they went on. And so he also has an evaluation that I'd like to read. Harris is one of the top interior defensive linemen out west, a big, strong, physical tackle with all the traits and ability to be a dominant player at the next level. He's a prototype frame at a solid 6'3", 290 pounds, and physically looks like a college player right now. He's very strong, can manhandle opposing offensive linemen, and gets a push up the field even when double teamed. Shows some natural pass rush ability, as well as, and was able to move around and even played some edge during his junior year. He plays with heavy hands, a quick get off, and lives on the opponent's side of the line of scrimmage. All the traits are there for Harris to be a difference maker at the next level, and when his motor is going, he's very tough to deal with. I wouldn't say this is necessarily a tremendous loss for UCLA. They do have a 4-star defensive lineman coming in, David Schwartzel. They are looking at 2 more defensive linemen that might be a package deal. That's 3-star Marcus Almada and 4-star Carter Gooden. Obviously, you want to go for Carter, and as soon as you lock down Carter, you're going to get Marcus Almada, but Marcus Almada already has a crystal ball prediction to land with the Bruins, and he is slated to make his decision here soon. Not too sure when, but we're going to assume within the next week or so. So it wasn't a tremendous loss. I do feel like, getting Devin Fitzgerald would have been a lot better for the wide receiver room, especially after they lost to Pula Twins last week. But, I mean, all things considered, and I've said this before, is especially after June, UCLA has overperformed in every facet in the recruiting trail. Deshaun Foster has done a tremendous job at acquiring talent and building long-lasting relationships, so that way, if one thing swings right, they might not consider transferring in the future. I really feel like he's building sustainable relationships with these young recruits. And, they have 21 commitments already. They peaked at the 8th best recruiting class in the nation. It has since subsided a little bit. They're 19th right now on 24/7 Sports, which still isn't bad. It's one of the best classes they've had in the last decade. But certainly, these close recruiting battles that they've had would have pushed them maybe to top 5 if they would have won all of them. If they would have won a couple, they'd be within the top 10 still. But hey, we still have a few recruits coming up to make their decision that UCLA is close with. They're at least in the top 2 for 4-star running back Brian Bonner, who is a tremendous recruit that, if they get them, will change the dynamism of the class. They're in the top 2 at least for Carter Gooden, Marcus Almada, and we still have a whole bunch more, not a whole bunch, but a few more after that UCLA is still close with. So yeah, that's all the recruiting updates we had today. Let's move into baseball real quickly before this episode ends. John Savage got extended head coach for the UCLA Bruins baseball team. He got a 3-year contract. The salary details aren't out yet, but UCLA Athletics did confirm that he was extended for 3 years. His last extension was in 2013, which is coincidentally the last time that he led them to the College World Series. That one was a 12-year, I can't remember the number right now, but it was 12 years, and he was among the highest paid coaches in the nation. I would assume it's not going to be as lucrative as it was then, especially considering it's a 3-year contract. He might be on his way out, but what I do like is he gets to stay with this young core that he's built right now. Especially, Rock Chalowski, all the freshmen and sophomore studs that are on UCLA that led them to Omaha this season. They're potentially going to ride out the rest of their collegiate careers with John Savage. Maybe make it back to Omaha a couple more times. I know next season might be Rock Chalowski's last season, especially if he, goes for the MLB draft. He's projected to be the number 1 prospect, so I wouldn't be surprised if he goes. But yeah, this Bruins baseball team, they're young. Their coach just got extended. Everyone is going to stay. John Savage has built a tremendous relationship with everyone on the roster to assure that they're not just going to upend and leave when the transfer portal opens. And yeah, I think the Bruins baseball team is definitely going to make it back to the postseason. I think they have a tremendous chance at making it back to Omaha. And who knows, maybe next year or the year after that, when the team is more rounded out and has more experience, they'll make it to the national championship again for the first time since 2013. So yeah, that's all the news we had today. A little bit of a crammed news day, but yeah, thank you for watching and listening to the UCLA Bruins Insider Podcast. As always, I'm your host, Connor Moreno, and I'll see you tomorrow.